Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back. In this video, we are doing a little update for the NBA slate for tonight, starting in about 4 hours. So we got some news throughout the day that shook up the slate a little bit. It's not dramatic changes from the morning. Earlier today, I said that you would expect Dinwiddie and Conley to sit on a back-to-back. Dinwiddie sitting. Looks like Conley will play after a loss last night. So, I mean, Ingles is still a good value, but he's not really a core play. Still very cheap at 39. But we got word that there's no Plumlee today. So definitely want to go to PJ Washington, who will start once again at center. He's only $4,400 on the season. He's been over a point per minute, just barely. You give him close to 30 minutes if he's out of foul trouble tonight. Should be able to hit value against a poor Houston defense. So he looks appealing. This whole game looks interesting. So I got Kevin Porter Jr. and Christian Wood, just pretty much really good plays on the Houston side without Jalen Green, both underpriced, and then Lamello. PJ Washington are a couple of my favorites from the Charlotte side. You can still go to guys like Gordon Hayward, Bridges, Kelly Oubre would be three others that I would consider. And then the Knicks, there is no Kemba, who's sitting on a back-to-back. So, if Quickly starts, he would be a really good play at $4,300. If they decide to start Alec Burks, then you can pivot to Alec Burks. But Quickly would still be a good play off the bench because they really don't have that many deep guys on their bench that will really come in and take a lot of usage. You have basically whoever comes off the bench between Burks and Quickly would be the sixth man and get a lot of usage. And then I still like getting to Wendell Carter. 58, Mo Bamba is upgraded to probable, so it looks like he will play today. But still a good spot for Carter. His price tag is still cheap. He is basically $1,000 cheaper than he was for most of the year and basically all of last couple of weeks, even with Cole Anthony out, who's out once again today. His price tag hasn't really budged. He's been playing 32 minutes. He played 30 minutes in a blowout last night against Chicago. It's a spot where they'll need some size out there against Cleveland. So I don't mind going back to Carter at a cheap price tag. So that's it for DraftKings. Let's talk about the Prize Picks board. So I have 5 plays that I like on Prize Picks today. Most of them are coming from that Houston-Charlotte game. I think it's just going to be a pretty fun scoring and a high-scoring affair. So I definitely take the over on Christian Wood. That's at 34.5. There's no Jalen Green, who's a super high usage player. Christian Wood on the year is averaging 36. He plays big minutes in close games or at home. So really like Christian Wood. Kevin Porter's fantasy score is only 29 on Prize Picks. I will gladly take the over on that. He already leads the team in usage. That will probably continue without Jalen Green. And in close games, you're getting 36, 37 minutes out of Kevin Porter Jr., which I do think they can keep it at least close enough to where you'll see Kevin Porter play pretty solid minutes tonight. Jalen Suggs, the one Orlando. Actually, you can go to a couple of Orlando pieces on Prize Picks. I do like him at only 25. You have Franz Wagner as well, who is in play. His score is at 23 only. Wendell Carter, he's in play as well. Kind of like all the Magic players, but if I had to pick one, it would probably be Jalen Suggs. A guy that on the year has been really struggling in terms of just being able to shoot the ball effectively. He's one of the worst players in NBA so far this year in terms of true shooting percentage, shooting just 33% from the floor, 25% from 3. But the minutes will be there if this game is close, and that's always a big if. But Cleveland has been pretty good this year. This game isn't a super high total, but maybe Orlando can kind of it should be a pretty low, slow pace type of game. So we're going to expect Orlando to get run out of the building. Only problem is if they struggle to score against this pretty big Cleveland team. But if this game is within 15 points in the fourth, you'll see Suggs most likely get up to 30 to 32 minutes. Played 32 in the close game against Brooklyn. Not a lot of close games. He played 30 in the other game, but that was one where he fouled out and was dealing with foul trouble. So I would say that you're looking at 32 minutes in terms of a floor. If this game is super competitive, it could get up to 33, 34 if he's playing well. And it still gets a lot of usage. He's just taken a lot of usage in place of Cole Anthony, really shifting over to the ball handling responsibilities, getting you more assists. So 25 on Prize Picks, I'll take the over there. And then Lamello and Gordon Hayward. Hayward's is really cheap or really low at only 28, and Lamello also is only 44.5. I think Lamello will go over. He gives you triple-double upside. He gives you a lot of ways that he can score fantasy points in terms of assisting, rebounding, getting you steals, playing big-time minutes, 38 to 40. Early on in the season, they were holding him to 32 minutes, 30 minutes in some of these games, but they've been letting him just go recently. He's gotten up to 38 to 39, which is great for fantasy production. And the last player was Gordon Hayward, who's also kind of been interesting player to roster for fantasy. He gives you a super high tournament ceiling in like high 40s, but the floor is really low in like 10 or 11 fantasy points. So he's always somewhat of a tough player to trust, but he's another guy that in close games they will give him 38 minutes. And not having Plumlee, just one less body in that rotation, Hayward can contribute with the rebounding, can facilitate a bit. So I don't mind it. He does have the potential to just blow that projection out of the water if he is playing well. He's averaging 31 on the year, and he's had a bunch of games over 40. It's just that the games that he's really struggled, he's been really bad in like the 10s to 20 range. But this one against Houston, I don't expect Hayward to struggle. Houston doesn't play defense. Charlotte doesn't play great defense. I'll take a lot of the players in this game. So let's now talk about the Fanduel picks. So Fanduel, the core plays somewhat similar. Lamello, I would probably play now over Donovan Mitchell. Mitchell's still a good play on Fanduel just because he's so cheap, but give me Lamello as my favorite option at the point guard position. At shooting guard, I'll go down to Quickly at 41. Give me some value. Kevin Porter, Christian Wood's pretty much still staples on both sides. And then Wendell Carter, another staple, at least on Fanduel, where you can play him at power forward and center, and he's sub 6K. So not too much to talk about. I mean, if you wanted like the full player-by-player analysis, you can check out the video that I posted this morning. But just wanted to give you guys an update on what kind of direction I'm going for the core plays. Any other news that we drop, stay tuned to Twitter for the updates with the core plays. Best of luck tonight if you're playing DraftKings FanDuel or Prize Picks. And I'm going to be working on the NFL video out now, so that should be out probably around 4 p.m. So good luck tonight, and I'll see you all next time.